Hey there, this is Red. It's time for another episode of Red Plays. All right, I have Age of Fantasy Skirmish back out on the board. And actually, if you'll notice, I've made myself another table. So I've actually got a topper on top of a topper, which is kind of weird, but it's working for me right now. The thing that I wanted was my game topper only goes 3 feet out. So I really wanted to get myself to a 4x4 table. And that's what I made here, following a little video that I'll link to online. I'll make my own pretty soon here, just using some metal railings and some flooring. And I was able to kind of spin up my own table topper. And this cost me right about $300, I think. I'll have to go through and total everything up. Most of the cost went into the metal, a little bit into the flooring, and all in all, I put it together in under 2 hours. So that was pretty good turnaround. And it gave me my 4x4 play space, which is what you're looking for when you're doing Age of Fantasy Skirmish. All right. Other things to note for this video, I'm going to try to use the AI rules. So that's going to be a little bit different than I've done last time, where I just kind of played both sides. This time I'm actually going to try to use the AI rules, play the Beastmen, and let the Mummified Undead run as AI. All right, so next stage that's up is we're going to go take a look at the units and see what we've got out there. All right, so this is what I'm going to be fielding this time. It's a little bit of a change from last time. All right, so instead of the brute boss that I've been playing most of the time, we're going to switch over to a lord. So this is our beast lord here. He's going to be leading the forces right now. Now, beast lord, he's got 3 quality and 3 defense, hand weapons 3. He's only got a tough of 3, so he's not as tough as the brute boss, but he costs way less. So I'm going to do some fun things with those points that I'm saving, because I'm saving close to like 60 points in total. It's a lot of points. All right, so what I'm going to do with those points is I'm going to get him 2x hand weapons, right, which is pretty standard, I think. So we'll double up his attack. He'll be rolling 6 dice. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to buy him Bane. So Bane is a Beastman ability. Look at Bane there. The hero and all friendly units within 12 inches get 2 extra attacks from the Furious rule instead of just 1. So as I charge in, we're going to get more bonus from everybody having Furious. So, all right. So that's going to give me 80, that's 90 points right there for our Beast Lord. All right, next up is our Centaurs. We're going to take him out of here. It's going to be the same 2 Centaurs we had last time. We're just going to roll with 2 Centaurs. I'm going to have to come up with some other units there to replace the Centaurs. So the Centaurs, quality 3, defense 4, A2 on the hand weapons. We got an impact, crazed. Got to remember to use the crazed. The great thing about them is they're fast. All right, now when we used the Centaurs last time, I bought them thrown weapons. This time I'm skipping that, so no thrown weapons for the Centaurs. All right, so that's 70 points for the Centaurs, plus our 90 points for the Beast Lord. That puts us at 70, 90, 160. All right, so that leaves us, we're playing about a 250 point game here, so that leaves us about 90 points to work with. So what we're doing with our 90 points is we're bringing the Horde. So we're going to have Beastman, 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 and Beastman, which I forgot to do his base. I didn't get the black around his base. Oh, mistakes. All right. So Beastmen, warriors, just cost 15, and we'll double them up with 2x hand weapons also. So we're going to push them up to 20. 4 of them is going to cost us 80. So I think that's going to put us right close to our 250 point total there. I think we're 160 plus 80 is 240. We're pretty good. All right, so we're going to get the Beastmen out of the way. Next up, we're going to go back and I'm going to go over our Mummified Undead in case it's the first time you didn't see the last video. So right there is going to be our leader for the Mummified Undead. Now we've got the Mummy King out there and we're not doing a whole lot with him. So Mummy King, boom. And the deal is where we're going to drop all of our points. Well, actually, You do a little bit with him. This time up, we're going to give him... Oop, wrong card. We need A. See, he gets bonuses A. We're going to give him... I'm going to replace his hand weapon with a great weapon. All right, give him some armor piercing, make him a little bit more fun, have a little bit special for him. Because he wanted some love. He didn't get any bonuses last time. This time we're going to give him a little bit of bonus. All right, so there's our Mummy King. That's 55 points. Now the bulk of our money is going to go into his buddies here. So we're going to do 2 buddies here. One, buddy number 1, and buddy number 2. And those are that's kind of the brute squad there. So those are our guardian statues. And we're going to drop a bunch of points on those because they start off at 50. We're going to double up their hand weapons. So they're rolling a fistful of dice. You get up to 6 dice there. And then we're also going to give them Stone Shaper. So Furious Regeneration. So we had 55 for our Mummy King, and then we're adding in another 150 there. So we're at 205. All right, and we're going to do the same thing we did last time to round it out. We're going to add a little bit of range there. So we've got 3 little archer bros here. Archer 1, Archer 2, Archer 3. That makes up an archer unit. There we go. Looks like that. Skeleton archers, they cost 30. We'll give them a little upgrade. We're going to give them a battle standard. So that unit will get to increase the damage roll when you roll to see whether you're stunned or knocked out. They get a little bonus for that point. So probably like last time, we'll end up hanging out in the back, being fairly ineffective, and trying to keep a spot captured. All right. So like I said, this time we're going to play around with the AI rules and see how that works out on the board. And we've got a bigger board, so that's going to change the game up just a little bit. All right. The cards that I'm using, I made myself. There was some requests for me to put the templates for those online. We'll try to get that together and put them like in a Google Drive or something like that for people to get at in the near future here. Actually have tomorrow off from work, so I may be able to get to that by the time this video goes out. So we'll see how all that works out. All right, I'm going to break for a second while I get the board set up, and got to get the Mummified Undead over on the far side, and we're going to have our Beastmen over here so we can get ready to roll. All right, be right back. All right, so we've got everything deployed at this point in time. I have my Beastmen spread out right here, so if I read the rules correctly, I roll and randomly all of my units get deployed in one zone. So I did odd, even, because usually you split that into 2 spots. I rolled even, so all of my Beastmen have to be deployed over here. On the AI side of things, as I did deployment, amazingly, I did the same thing where I split odd, even, and I rolled even on all of them over there. So it was odd, even, and they all ended up on one side of the board. So they should be placed individually, but they all kind of ended up in about the same spot. All right, the other part of it is I rolled and we ended up with 4 objective markers. The AIs placed them in the middle. You split the board into fourths and they put them right in the middle. And I got to choose where I wanted to put my markers, and maybe I should move them a little bit different, but I think we'll be all right. Okay, so at that point in time, we're getting ready to go. And I've got the first move, so let's see here. What do I want to go after? I think what I want to do is, well, I'm going to want to capture that marker over there, and that's why I put my centaurs here, because they have fast, and they can skedaddle on over to this marker over here. But what I don't want to do is expose them to those archers. Now, I have more units on my side than they have on their side, so I think I can make them have to use their archers up first before I start moving my centaurs around. So with that in mind, I'm going to find my tape measure, which is buried somewhere. Where's it at? Where's it at? Oh, here it is. It's not buried. It's just next to me. All right. And I got 12 inches of movement for one of these Beastmen because my Beastmen all count as individual units. So we're going to move him on up. Let's just start with our outermost Beastman and move him on up to there. All right, now I'm going to have to go move one of those on the other side over there. Now, actually, I randomly select which one is supposed to move. So we'll go down the line. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 units over there. So just roll a d6 and see what we come up with. Well, we come up with a number that doesn't work. 4. Okay, so the archers are going to move first. Now, there's a whole list of rules for the AI as to how the AI is supposed to work, which I've got printed out right here. I mean, there's this decision tree. So we've got a whole decision tree on what the AI does, right? So we have hybrids, but that's not what they are. They're shooting. So are there any objectives not under the AI's control? Yes. Go to step 2. If you advance, will enemies be in shooting range? There's a no. So we're going to rush towards an objective. All right. So I think they will end up rushing towards this objective over here. I'm not sure if we decide which one's closer. I think it's you decide which one's closer, but to figure that out, I'm going to have to go measure. So let me figure that out and I'll get them moved. All right, so I took a look at my AI rules there, and it says that shooting units will try to move and maintain as much distance as they can while moving towards objectives that aren't taken. So actually, because I moved this guy out, I think them moving over to the objective over there keeps them further away from my units. So I believe that's where they would go according to the AI rules. Now, I also believe what you're supposed to do is you randomly select which area and then you select which units inside the area by rolling a die to figure them out. All of them are all in one area, so I don't think that it matters much, and I think random is random. So if I go 1 to 4, I think we're good there. All right. So next up is me moving another one of my units. I think we're going to loop a Beastman right here over to this objective. Should be able to easily get there. So if I move, let's see here, if he goes, it's about 8 inches, plus another 4, you can stand right out in front of there. We'll move him to right there. Call him good. Then we're going to go over to that side and we'll go 1, 2, 3 across the board. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across the board. 2. So 1, 2 is our first statue is going to move. So let's see here. Let's see where the guardian statue would go. So guardian statues, if we follow the same thing, they are a melee unit. So are there any objectives under the AI's that are not under the AI's control? Yes. We go to step 2, which says charge enemy. Are there enemies in the way? There are no enemies in the way. Are there enemies in charge range? No. So it's going to say rush toward an enemy. Oh, wait, sorry. I'm skipping a bunch of stuff here. All right, let's put it down here so we can read it together. Okay, melee decision tree. Are there any objectives not under the AI's control? Yes. There's going to be 3 of them out there. Are there any enemies in the way? We've got no. Rush toward objective. All right. Are there enemies in charge range? No. Rush toward the enemy. I think we stop here at the no. Rush toward objective. All right. So charge range is also, I think, 12 inches for them, and there's no way. So they're going to go over towards this objective over here. All right. So I'm going to go move him. And then we'll be back to the Beastmen. All right. So what I went ahead and did was I went ahead and moved all of them over there towards this objective over here. They did their full 12-inch movement. That's as far as they could get. I went and moved them all because they're not going to be able to get in charge range of any of my characters this round. So they would all head towards that objective over there. So now I'm going to go ahead and move my Beastmen here, kind of finish up this turn. Let's see what we can do here. So it would have been one of their guys moved, then I would move a Beastman. I'm going to move them 12. I think what I'm going to do with my Beastmen is probably think I'm going to send my Lord out that way, but move my Beastmen maybe to take out some of those archers. And actually to help capture these points over here if we can bring those bad guys over here. So let's move him out towards the middle. He can move about 12. Whoop. We'll move him to here. This guy can move 12, so we'll move him 8 to about here. And then turn, we'll move another 4. Move him about right here. Keep him in a nice line. Our Beast Lord, he's going to move 12. We'll just move him straight on up to right here. And these guys here, we're going to loop over. Now, they can move 18 because they're fast. So we're going to try to skedaddle over to... Ooh, I wonder if we'll be able to get in range of... I'll go from my back corner here. Try back corner to back corner. Back corner. There. Whoop. Back corner here. Ooh, that's going to be close as to whether that gets me in the 3-inch range or not. Am I going to make it? Let's see. Oh, just barely. Yeah, we got it. All right. So that's going to be good because we'll get a couple of victory points at the outset. Beastmen need the victory points. All right. And 18 inches from this guy, from his back corner to back corner. All right. So we're to the end of round 1. What's going to happen is we're going to drop some ownership markers. And where are they at? They're here. All right. So we're going to get ownership of this one for the Beastmen. The other one for the Beastmen. Actually just got in range of that one. And we've got one on the far side is going to go for the Mummified Undead. All right, one for the Mummified Undead. And then we need to get out our scoring dies. And we get 1 for the Mummified Undead, 2 for the Beastmen. Beastmen have the early lead. All right. 2 and 1. Oops. 1. Okay. All right, so that's the end of turn 1. Let me clean up some markers and then we'll get ready for turn 2. All right, as we get ready for turn 2, we're going to survey the battlefield a little bit there. You've got your skeletons guarding that spot. Looks like the Mummy King and his minions are headed for the other spot over there. You got some Beastmen charging across the middle of the town. And over here, we got our centaurs just barely eking to that spot. Probably going to charge some skeletons this next round. We'll see how that goes. But a battle's a brewing. Let's see how it turns out here. All right, we'll switch over to our other view and get ready for round 2. All right, time for round 2. Since the Beastmen were the last to go, Mummified Undead are going to be the first to go. Now it's actually going to matter. We're going to randomly roll. We're going to roll and randomly see who goes first. So we've got the archers over there. We'll go archers are 1, king is 2, and then we'll do the 3, 4. 3 towards the front, 4 towards the back. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's roll a die. See what can we come up with. 5, of course. 3. So 1, 2, 3. So we got our 2 sword wielding guy with a cool gold headdress on there. He's gonna move up a little bit. This one right here. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna head for that point because it hasn't been captured at this point. And I believe none of the Beastmen are in charge range yet. So 12 inches. Nope, not there yet. So he's gonna head over. He's gonna rush towards that point and take that point. All right, so he's activated. Now it's going to be my turn to figure out what it is that I want to do. Now, those skeletal archers over there, are they within 18 inches of one of these centaurs? Oh, oops, I'm moving him. Shouldn't be doing that. I think he's going to be close, but not quite. I'm like just out of range. This one, though, he can get there just barely. He can just barely get there. So this centaur is going to rush on up and attack those skeletons, and we're going to get our first blood of the game. Hopefully they don't all whiff on each other. So let's get her moving. All right, so our centaur was just barely able to charge up there. We're going to take a look and see what he's got for abilities here. So he's got, I got my Mummy King over here. Here we go. Here's a centaur. So centaur is going to be, dun, dun, he's got hand weapons, A2. There would be the bonus, potentially the Bane from my Beast Lord, but we're too far away for that because I believe he's got to be within 12 for Bane to kick in. Yeah, he's got to be within 12 inches. That's definitely not 12 inches. We're like all the way across the board. But we'll get our hand weapons. We'll get impact 1, so we're going to get an automatic hit. Yes. And then we've got our crazed. We need to see what our craze does for us. So we're going to roll a die. Let's see what crazed does for us. So crazed on a, what to say here? Crazed says on a 1 to 2. So we'll roll right here, and I get a 3. So a 3 says I get +1 attack. All right. So that means we're going to be doing Furious is going to give us 1. Our hand weapons give us another 2. And then our craze is going to give us 4 dice that we get to throw at these skeletons. All right. So let's go back up to the big screen here, overhead for some dice rolling. Get these out of the way. And we're going to throw 4 dice. And the centaur's got a quality of 3, so we hit on 3s. Oh, look at that. All 4 hit. All right. So on top of that, we've got impact 1. So we get an extra hit. At 5 hits. All right, let's see what the skeletons can do. Now the skeletons, they have a defense of 6. So not all that awesome. Let's see what we come up with. No defenses. So we're looking at 5 hits on the skeleton. So what that amounts to is 2 skeletons will go away. 1, 2, and then we're going to put 3 hits on the remaining skeleton. And at that point, we need to roll to see what happens to him. So we're going to roll, and we get a 1 plus 3 is 4, which means the skeleton is stunned, not knocked out. All right. So I need to move some stuff around, and then we should be good to go. All right, so that was a pretty good rush by our centaur over there. I really wish he'd taken him out. Didn't quite happen. So now what's going to happen is one of the other 2 units over there, the Mummy King or that statue, is going to come for us. Now, the deal is that the AI, I believe, does not activate stunned units until the very end. That's the last thing that they will activate. So one of those guys at this point is probably within 12 inches of the centaur and will activate and probably come over and take him out with their fists full of dice. So let's roll and see what we come up with, because it's going to be, let's see, odds are the Mummy King, evens are the statue. Evens are the statue. All right, so the statue is going to come over and work on giving my centaur a beatdown at this point. All right, so I was over there measuring, and actually the statue couldn't quite get to the centaur. He ended up about an inch away, but that caused me to check the rules again. And if I follow my flow, what actually happens there is for a melee unit, he should, let's see here. So I go to step 2, because are there objectives not under the AI's control? And there's one here and one there, right? So yes, charge enemy if possible. So are there any enemies in the way? There weren't any enemies in the way for ones that he controls, right? So we're going after ones that were not under control. So he's trying to rush towards the objective over here now, because that one he actually controls. So he wouldn't go after my centaur. He's looking for unowned objectives to go after. All right. So that ends up being the Mummified Undead's turn. Now we're back over to our turn. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do, what I also know is a rule for Mummified Undead, is when they attack, when the AI is controlling them, they will do their full attack on whatever it is that attacks them. So I think I'm going to throw one of these Beastmen at that statue. And the statue's probably going to rip him apart, but that's going to use up all of his attacks that roll on good dice instead of having to get natural sixes for subsequent attacks. So I think we're going to charge in there. Oops, I forgot to back off an inch here. I should back up an inch. Okay. So we're going to, I don't know, just grab a Beastman. Let's grab this guy right here. We're going to run him, and he should easily be within 12. Yep. Ooh, the other question is going to be, yes, he will be within 12 of the Beast Lord. All right, so we're going to have this guy right here charge on up. And we're going to do attack against that Mummified Undead. See how this works out here. All right, I want to get a bit better picture in the corner there. So we've got our Beastmen engaging our statue there. So the Beastmen at this point in time have a quality of 4, and they've got double hand weapons. So we're going to get 2 dice. Now, he also has Furious for charging. Plus, he's within 12 inches of the Beast Lord, who has Bane. So he gets another dice. He gets 4 dice on this little attack here. Let's see what he comes up with. Now he needs 4s to hit. So 3 hits. That's pretty good. Okay, now the sad part is I've seen these statues in action before. All right, they defend on 4s. So he's going to roll 3 dice here. See what we come up with. All of them. He defended all of them, so nothing got through. We don't even have to worry about the regeneration. All right. Now, the crazy thing is the statue's going to get to attack back. All right, so the statue is going to roll a lot of dice. So the statue's got his stone, well, he's got 2 times hand weapons, so he's going to be throwing 6 dice. And he hits on 3s. So, all right, let's see what we come up with here. Oof. So that's 4 hits to our Beastman. So Beastman has a defense of 5. And we're going to roll. And actually, those all fail. So he's going to take 4 hits. All right. 4 hits to the Beastman. Let's see what happens for his save here. 6 plus 4, he's knocked out. So 1 Beastman out of the game. Statue took him down. All right. That's the end of the Beastman's turn. What's going to happen? The only person that's... Oh, there's 2 people that are left. We've got the Mummy King to move, and we've got the Archer. But since the Archer is stunned, he's going to move last. So the Mummy King is going to move up. All right. All right, the Mummy King's moved up. He's not quite in range of anybody yet, but he's closing quarters fast. All right, so next up, we've got our Beastmen stuff. Now, I think I want to angle some Beastmen off that way to try to capture some of these back portals. Now, also, the Mummy King is going to be easier to take out than the skeletons are. So I'm thinking maybe I should go after the Mummy King. But the question is going to be, who do I have go after the Mummy King? All right, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and have this guy, we're going to have him move 12 over that way. And I just have there's my tape measure. All right. There's no reason to stick around at this spot here. So we're going to go ahead and skedaddle over this way. About there. There we go. He's done. So next up would be the skeleton going over there because they don't have anything else. So he would unstun at this point in time. The skeleton's going to get back up. Unfortunately, he's going to get back up. And then we just have Beastmen to go at that point in time. So I think what we want to do is, why don't we go ahead and move this one up over this way. Let's see here. His best move is 18 inches. And that's his front corner. Ooh, I'm gonna have to check that really close and see. I don't think that is the front of the skeleton. And that is my front corner. I think I can just get there. So we're gonna move on up and take a swat at this skeleton. Bam. All right. So let's see here. We've got 3 dice because we get 2 naturally. We're gonna have 1 that we get to hold on to from impact. We have to roll on our crazed. So crazed, we roll a 2. So 2 is going to give us AP1, which doesn't do us a lot of good versus the skeleton because, well, you know, he's got like a 6 defense anyway, so it's not going to matter a whole lot. All right, and if I was that skeleton, I don't think that that's what I would want to be seeing. So you're seeing something like that, and that's looking pretty scary. All right, so we've got 1 automatic hit, and 2 dice. And a 2 and a 3, which are 1 is a hit for the centaur. So we have 2 hits. We have AP1. Doesn't matter because the skeleton has a defense of 6. So we're rolling 2 dice. And he takes 1 hit. All right, so that's going to crank him up to 4 on the die. And we're going to roll 5, 6. All right, he's finally knocked out. Skeleton's knocked out. Oops. Move him back up. This die goes away. I get to move 3 inches, so we're going to go ahead and, do I have one of my, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Let's see here. Let's move to about right here. And then we'll be done at that point. All right, the other thing I need to remember is that skeletons only have 4 units. So while that's 3 models, that only counts as 1 unit. So if I take out another one of the Mummified Undead's models, they're going to have to make a morale check. So things will be looking pretty good then. All right. So those were my centaurs. Let's get back to our Beastmen action over here and see what we can get going. All right, I'm going to switch my camera back over there. Like that. There we go. Because there's going to be some fighting going on right here. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to rush these Beastmen at the Mummy King and see if we can take him out. And then maybe we can get the morale on the statues to break. Now, the problem is with undead, so that when they're undead, well, the statues, yeah, statues count as undead. They've got undead. When they take a morale test, it automatically passes. Then I roll as many dice as tough in the unit, and for each unit on a 1 or 2 takes a wound, which can't be regenerated, which is another bonus because they have regeneration. So I think we really want to get that Mummy King out of there. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and charge in with my unpainted base Beastmen there. All right, so he's charging in. He's within 12 inches, so he's going to get his normal. He's got 2 hand weapons, so that's 2 dice. Plus, he's got his Furious. Plus, he's within Bane range, so he's going to get 4 dice that he gets to roll. All right, we're throwing 4 dice, quality of 4. So we got 2 hits. All right, the Mummy King has a defense of 4. So let's see what he can defend against. Oh, he defended neither of them. All right, so he's going to take 2. I was getting all excited, like I was going to knock him or stun him, but he also has a tough of 3. So there's no roll quite yet. I have to get to 3 before I start rolling. All right, and the other side of that is the Mummy King's going to come back at our Beastmen, do an attack now. All right, so what the Mummy King gets is something kind of gross. So actually, I replaced his hand weapon with a great weapon. So he's rolling with a attack of 3 and an armor piercing of 2. So we're gonna get 3 dice. And he's got AP 2, which means it's gonna make my defenses a 6. All right, so a 4, a 5, and a 1. He's got a quality of 3, so that's gonna be 2 hits. All right, Beastman's gonna see if he can block against it. He's got a defense of 5. Blocked one of them. Oh, he's got a defense of 5. Oh, he got a 6 anyway. I almost forgot the armor piercing 2. He got a 6 anyway. That's an automatic success. All right, so we've got 1 failure. He's going to take 1 wound. We're going to have to roll to see what happens to him because he's not tough. We get a 4. So 4 plus 1 is 5. And I think we go out on a 6 plus, which I'm going to double check. Just to be sure, yes, a 6 plus, we're knocked out. So he's just stunned. All right, so he's stunned. And we back off an inch. Well, actually, I think, I'm not sure if the Mummy King backs off an inch at that point. That's interesting. I think my stunned guy is going to have to back off a point because he was the aggressor in that one. All right. Still no more mummy guys to go, so Beastmen are going to go. We're going to charge in with number 2 here. All right, again, we're going to get our 4 dice to roll. We're going to hit on 4s or better. We got 1 hit. Oh, lame. All right, so we get 1 hit. Does Mummy King defend against it? A 3. His defense is 4, so no, he does not. So he takes his 3rd hit. All right. So he's got a tough of 3. And well, again, let's go back to our rules here. Double check on the tough of 3. Tough says this model only rolls to see what happens from wounds once it has taken at least X wounds. So 3 is X. He's only knocked out on rolls of 5 plus X or more. All right. So he's going to be knocked out on an 5 plus 3. So he's going to be knocked out on an 8 or better. So we get 3. We're going to roll a die. 2, 5. No, not knocked out, but he's stunned. And you know what that means. I still have my Beast Lord to go. Now it seems like kind of a waste because he's got just so many attacks. Oh, I have to back off an inch. He's got just so many attacks, but I think that is the best thing to do is to run in here. And he's going to attack the Mummy King at that point in time. Boy, that's a big old mess of stuff. So when he attacks the Mummy King's going to be stunned. And he's going to take him out. So Beast Lord right here. Going to take our Mummy King out. Boom. All right, he's out because of the stun. Now I get to move 3 inches. I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to retreat a little bit after that. And I'll move back 3. Back to right here. All right. And then my Beast Lord is done. All right, so what am I thinking? We're getting to the end of round 2 at this point. And I'm thinking I was really overpaying for that brute boss that I used in the last game. And I think having these more Beastmen and having larger numbers seems to really help, especially when we have more points out there to be taken. But let's rattle up these points and figure out what we end up with here. So this one here is taken, that one's taken. We're going to convert over here because we're within 3. Yep, so we're going to convert that one to a red. And they're going to take this one over here as a blue. All right, so we're going to score 3 for red and 1 for blue. So we're going to go up to 5. They're going to go up to 2. All right, so other thing we need to worry about is a morale check. So they've lost half of the units on the board, so the Mummified Undead needs to take a morale check. All right, so the quality on the Guardian statues is 3. So we'll roll for this guy here. 6, he succeeds. The one in the back, a 1, he fails. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to roll 3 dice because he's got a tough of 3. And any, let me double check this for the undead. Where's my undead card at? There we go. So I think it's on any 1s or 2s, or is it just 1s? On a 1 or 2, they take a wound which cannot be regenerated. All right. So you can see him kind of peeking in the back over there. He's thinking, this is not looking so good. 2, so he's going to take a wound. All right. He's got 1 wound on him. All right, so that's the end of round 2. Question that I had, and maybe those of you that play know better, but it looks like from when I read the rules that the morale check isn't a one-time deal, that it's at the end of every round you have half your units or less. So I think they're going to be taking a morale check at the end of every round now, which is going to be really messy for the Mummified Undead. All right, so I need to clean up some tokens. Clean them up, clean them up. And the Mummified Undead are going to go first because the Beastmen went last in round 3. All right, so we need to determine, we'll go odds and evens for which one of them go first. We got an odd, so our wolf buddy up front here is going to go first. Now, our rules say we're going to look for an unclaimed cha-ching, one that's not theirs. And if there's somebody on the way, he's going to attack them. Let's make sure we're looking at our chart right here. So melee says, are there any objectives not under the AI's control? Answer to that is yes. Are there enemies in the way? Yes. Charge enemy if possible. Else rush towards objective. Now, I also believe that in the way is within 6 inches. So he is definitely within the way. So that was going to be a stunned unit. What I should double check is when the AIs attack, do they go after stunned units first, or will they go after any other unit? Let me read really fast. All right, so I'm looking at the rules here, and what we see right here, melee. AI units always charge the nearest valid target, prioritizing stunned units first and units that haven't activated second. And they must always strike back when charged. All right, so he's going to prioritize stunned units, so he's going to swoop in here and take this guy out. No chance for him. All right, at that point, he gets 3 inches of bonus movement, which I believe he would continue on as much as he could towards the objective. All right, so he's done at that point. Now, what I also know, because of the AI rules, that guy's going to take off, and he's going to be looking to come after an objective. So will he go after that one, or will he go after this one? I'm going to guess I would have him go after that one, because this one looks like it's getting close to being taken. All right, but what we've got to worry about is what are we doing with our unit? So I could run over here and set it up so it's contested. That way they don't get any points at all. I think that's what we might do, is we might swarm this guy over here and see if we can take him out. So I had this guy run away. I think he's coming back for the fight. So we're going to have our Beastman here. He's going to come back right over there. And we're kind of right in the mix of it with our camera. He's going to try to take him out. All right. Guess the other thing we're looking at, so this guy in the back here, he's probably going to go over to that one. I think we're going to stay with the fight right here and see how it goes. All right, so our Beastman's rushing in here. He's attacking. He's still within 12 inches, so we're going to get the 4 dice because we double the Furious. He's probably going to get slapped down in the end, but it will be worth it. Ooh, the one thing to worry about is how many units do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it won't be quite the half and have to worry about the morale thing. All right, so our Beastmen hit on 4s. So we got 3 hits. All right, the statues hit back with, oh, sorry, they defend on 4s. So only 1 got through, and then we need to see if it gets regenerated. And the regeneration hits on a 5 or 6, I believe, which I'm double checking. Yep, 5 plus, it's ignored. So, ignored. Well, he did a whole bunch of nothing. And now he's going to get hammered when the statue attacks him back. So we got 6 dice that are coming, and the statue hits on 3s or better. So only 1 missed. All right, my Beastman defense is a 5. That's not looking good. And he failed all of them. So that's 5 hits. All right, 5 hits. We're going to roll to see if he's in or out. Oh, he's out. Surprise, surprise. Actually, if I'd rolled a 1, he would have been out. So he got taken out. Not too shocking. But now we've got 3 Beastmen units on the sideline. All right. Next up is going to be our Mummified Undead in the back there. Other statue. He's going to move 12 inches. So he's all the way across the board over here. I think he's going to skedaddle 12 inches that way towards that objective. So I don't think if he goes this way, he's going to get in range. Actually, he could hit somebody. He can't if he goes that way. So the AI says he goes to... Let's make sure we're... See, now our problem is that we've got... do they both go after the same unit or not? So step 2 says charge enemy. So are there enemies in the way? No. Well, kind of. If we take that within 6 inches, and that's an unclaimed thing, that is an enemy within the way. So I think he would charge over, hit this guy right here. And he's barely within 12, so boom. We're going to be looking like that right there. All right, 12 inches. This is where all the action is. It's right here. So I'm going to shift back to our action view. There we go. All right, now he's coming in. Now this is kind of crazy because the Guardian statue is going to have 3 attacks. Plus he's got double weapons. Plus he's got Furious. So he's going to throw 7 dice. It's not looking good for the Beastman. 7 dice. And we got lots and lots of numbers there. So what do we got there? We've got, well, actually he hits on 3s or better. So there's 2 misses. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. The Beastman is going to defend on 5s or better. And so he defends 2 of them. He's going to take 3 hits. All right, 3 hits on our Beastman. And we're going to roll and see whether he's knocked out or whether he's just stunned. And that's knocked out. He's gone. All right, so our Beastmen are going to be challenged with morale at the end of the round, too. Okay. That statue is done. All right, hero time. hero time. I say hero time. It's Beastman time. So now I need to figure out what I want to do with the Beastmen. So I think that this guy is going to charge 18 inches, and that should be easily within his 18-inch movement. Well, not easily, but pretty well within his 18-inch movement. He can get over there. I'm standing right in front of the camera. There we go. Boom. He can take that one over and hang out there. So he's done. Okay. Now what am I going to do with my Beast Lord? I think we go after this guy. He's already used his attack, so we might as well come in here and do some meanness at each other. All right. So we'll zoom in on that one. Beast Lord's coming in here to attack our little statue. Let's see how this works out. Hopefully he doesn't knock my Beast Lord out. And hopefully my Beast Lord doesn't lose morale, because that would be horrible. All right, so the Beast Lord is going to roll lots of dice. So he has, normally, he has an attack of 3, but I've got 2x hand weapons, so he's going to have 6. All right, he's got Furious, plus he's got Bane. So we're looking at 8 dice there. Let's see what we come up with. He hits on 3s or better. That is a lot of not 3s. All right, so we got 3 hits right there, which was pretty sad out of 8 dice when you got 2/3 chance of hitting. All right. So we're going to roll for the defense of the Guardian statue. He defends on 4s. Oh, actually, 3 hits come through. All right, so now we need to roll on the regeneration, which is 5s or 6s. And one of them regenerates. Ooh, so he takes 2 more hits. That pushes him up to 3, which means we need to do a roll to see whether he's stunned or knocked out. So we got a 7, which is not quite the 8 that we needed, so he is stunned. All right, which means he doesn't get a retaliatory strike on the Beast Lord. Beast Lord's going to need to back off an inch. Beast Lord's done at that point in time. I don't think he's going to make 18 inches over to get back to that guy. That's not happening. So what do we do? I think he's just going to stay right there and keep on capturing that spot. All right. So he's done, and everybody at this point is done. So now we need to take a look at who owns which spots. That one stays red. That one's red. This one's going to flip to red. And is he within 3 inches over here? I don't think he quite made 3 inches. Nope. So we're going to flip this one to red. Beastmen are going to score. Beastmen score 4. Mummified Undead score none. Oop. It's written 9 for the Beastmen, 2 for the Mummified Undead. They're not looking too hot. I guess at that point in time, we need to do some morale checks, because I think the morale checks happen at the end of every round. All right, so let's do morale for the Mummified Undead first. And if you do it according to their toughness, ooh, I took his dice away. He should be at 3. Didn't get knocked out. All right, if we do it according to his toughness, he's going to take 3. On 1s or 2s, he takes damage. So he's going to take 1 damage. Boom. All right, this guy over here, on 1s or 2s, he takes damage. He did not take any. All right. Now, ooh, wait a minute. If you're stunned, what happens when you take a morale check? I'm not sure what happens when you're stunned and takes a morale check. I don't know. But actually, I guess the deal is that the statues, because they're undead, they automatically pass morale checks. So I don't know that he would. I'm not sure what would happen there. Anyway, these guys are both all right. I need to do morale checks for my beastmen. In the end, it's not going to matter a whole lot because we've got enough victory points. But let's see here. Our beast lord is a quality of 3. He sticks around. Our centaurs have a quality of 3. So we'll go centaur over there. He sticks around. Centaur over there. Can't see what it is. It's a 4. Yay! All of the beastmen stick around. All right. So that was round 3. Pick up our stuff and we move on to round 4. All right. This is already in the bag for the beastmen. The Mummified Undead would move first. So if we follow our AI rules, it says for melee, are the objectives not under the AI's control? Yes, all of them. So we're going to go to step 2. Are there any enemies in the way? No. So he would charge over here to this objective and take this objective. Or attempt to take that objective anyway. All right, the next thing would be... Actually, what I will do is I will charge with my centaur. Yep, I can charge over here at 18. He can charge in here and knock this stunned guy out because he's got the speed. So he gets the automatic knockout there. KO'd. Boom. All right, so he's done. Mummified Undead guy should be done. That guy is not going to get anywhere close to any of the battling, so we're to our Beast Lord here as the final maneuver. And I think for the Beast Lord, we might as well end with an epic fight. So let's bring it. All right, so Beast Lord's got 12 inches of movement. He's going to jump on in here. So let's take a look at our fight there. Bum, bum. We might as well end on an epic little battle here. All right, so Beast Lord's charging in. He's going to get 8 dice. And he rolled so horribly last time. Let's see if he can do better this time. 8 dice, right? And he hits on 3s or better. So we're kicking out 3 dice out of the 8, 5. Those ratios are about right. Okay. So now we got to worry about the armor on the statue. He's got a defense of 4. So 4s or better come out. And so he's still taking 4 hits. All right. So now he's got regeneration is going to kick in. Oh, look at that. So boop, 2 hits he's going to take. So that's going to push him up to 3. Ooh, that means we're going to add 3 to a die roll and see if we knock him out. Oh, we do! So the Beast Lord comes in and takes out the final statue. All right. So there we go. There's my playthrough. And our Beast Lord is victorious here. So do a little Beast Lord dance or something like that, right? He's happy with this. So I had been playing with the Brute Boss. I think the cheaper cost of the Beast Lord and the more units is what's getting me the win here. The price tag is just so much less for the Beast Lord. And when we end up with a large number of objectives like this, it works out pretty well. Also helped taking the skeletons out pretty early. I did have a pretty crappy roll with the Beast Lord there. I think rule clarification stuff that I need to make sure to look at, or somebody can clarify in the comments, is at the end there when we had the 2 statues, I think they would potentially move towards the same objective, or would they see 2 separate ones and go after different ones? I'm not exactly sure how that would work out. I know so if I was actually controlling, there are decisions I would have made differently as I was playing for the Mummified Undead. but I'm trying to follow the AI rules and see how the AI rules work out. Now I see there's some things in there that allow you to give bonuses to the AI rules, and I can see why you might want to do that because in some instances the AI makes some pretty silly decisions, I would have to say. Also, things like the stunned creatures going last, I think, is a little bit of a mistake for the AI in some instances because clearing that stun off forces somebody to attack and hit again against some of the creatures that would be potentially pretty tough to kill had they not been in a stun state. Like they still have a decent number of health left, and just hitting them can be fairly difficult. Like those statues, for instance, remaining in a stun state for the statue when it can get back up, have a defense of 4 plus regeneration. The likelihood of it taking more damage is much less than just coming in and getting immediately knocked out because of the stun. But anyway, so looks like we have a win for the Beastmen at this point in time, and I think I may be switching to the Beast Lord over the Brute just because the point cost on the Brute Lord is too much. And it's not that my Brute boss like got knocked out or took damage or anything, but I just wrapped up so many points in him that I wasn't able to spread my forces to be able to cover all of the things that were out there. And being able to turn that into 2, potentially 3 other Beastmen that I can throw on the board is a pretty huge thing. So, all right, we're going to wrap it up for this episode of Age of Fantasy Skirmish. And let me know in the comments, what else do I need to get on the board? I'm working on some lizard folk, and we'll see if we'll get them out there. And we've got some bigger mummy stuff too. I'm not sure if I want to take my point value up too much higher. I think 250 is about the right point value to play at. What do you normally play your skirmish battles at? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.